Yeah, I've sold 400 million books, but I had to write 400 million.
Tell me about your transition from, being green, what behind the ears, coming to New York City, to 400 million books sold.
Well, that took a while.
No, it was 1986. It didn't take that long.
Well, yeah, I'm very old. I was here a long time. Believe me, I wrote for 20 years before anybody noticed. But I came to New York after college. I was editor of the humor magazine at Ohio State for 3 years. That's all I did in college. I never went to class. I just did this humor magazine. And it paid my way to New York. And I came here and started getting jobs. I was a magazine person. And I started looking for magazine jobs. My very first job when I came here, and I didn't know a single person in New York. It's just me. And my very first job was making up interviews for movie magazines.
Making up interviews?
Making up interviews. This woman up on 95th Street, she did 6 movie fan magazines. And 6 magazines a month, but she had to fill up. And there were 3 of us. And we would make up interviews with the stars all day. And I would come in the morning and she'd say, do an interview with Diana Ross. And I would sit down, type, interview with Diana Ross. Do an article called Those Rumors About Tom Jones. They're Not True. So I would sit down and write. And then she'd say, now write for this other magazine, Those Rumors About Tom Jones. They're true. And so then I would write it the other way. I wrote this series called Fear Street for teenagers. And I did about 80 of them, I think. And I killed off a lot of teenagers. And every month I'm killing teenagers. And I wondered why I enjoyed it so much. No, and then I realized I had one at home. I started out doing educational stuff for kids, really. I answered an ad in the Times, and I went to work at Scholastic. And I wrote history and geography articles for Junior Scholastic. And I wrote social studies. And it gave me a really good, now it sounds kind of weird, but it gave me a really good background in being interesting for kids. Taking stuff that they didn't want to hear about and making it interesting. And I also learned how to write on grade level. I learned how to write at a 4th grade level and how to write at a 5th grade level. And that's helped me a lot in Goosebumps, and I've used that quite a bit. And I was doing all kinds of freelance work and whatever. And I was having lunch with an editor, and a friend of mine, and she said she had just had a fight with a guy who wrote teen horror. And she said, I'm never working with him again. Go home and write a teen horror novel called Blind Date. You can do it. And I said, oh, sure, okay. I was at that part of my career where you never say no to anything. You just say yes to whatever anyone wants. And I said, oh, okay. See, that's the embarrassing part, is that being scary wasn't even my idea. It was her idea.
So I'm assuming she gets a certain percentage of your royalties.
She gets well, no. So I went out and I ran to the bookstore, and there were all these people who were writing teen horror, and I bought up a bunch of books, Lois Duncan and Christopher Pike, and all these people, just to see what she was talking about. I didn't really know what she meant by a teen horror novel. And then I read them all, and I tried to decide what I could be different, how I could be different. And I decided to be cleaner and cuter. That I would be, a little bit younger and not quite as nasty. And that's how I got started writing the scary books. And I wrote this book, Blind Date, about a boy named Josh who suddenly starts getting weird phone calls. Hi, Josh, I'm your blind date. I'm your blind date. And he finally tracks down this girl, and she's been dead for 5 years. And that was the premise of the first book. And Blind Date came out, and it was a #1 bestseller, Publishers Weekly. I'd never been near that list in my life. And it was a #1 bestseller, and I thought I've stumbled onto something. Here, after Fear Street was going really well, the YA stuff, my wife and her partner, they have a publishing company, and they said, let's try doing a scary series for younger kids, 7 to 12-year-olds. No one had ever done it. And here's the kind of great businessman I am. I said, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And they kept after me and said, we could try. Let's try a younger, scary series. You could do it. I said, oh, I don't. I said, okay. If I can find a good name for the series, maybe we'll try a few. And one day I was reading TV Guide and just going through the TV listings. And down at the bottom of the page there was an ad that said, it's Goosebumps Week on Channel 11. And I just stared at it. There it was on the page. I said, Channel 11.